JK, are you going to do your Trump impression? We're going to do your Trump.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody, I'm getting my Twitter handle
Don't give
back
him
next
derangement syndrome right before we start the
I
pod.
want to warm him up.
Ted Cruz.
This doesn't warm him up. It gets him deranged.
Get your show notes up, bitches.
Let your winners ride.
Rain Man David Sacks.
And instead, we open source it to the fans, and they've just gone crazy with it.
Love you, besties.
Queen of Quinoa. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another All In podcast. With me today, of course, the dictator, Chamath Palihapitiya, the queen of quinoa, David Friedberg, and, of course, definitely the Rain Man is here, David Sacks. He's an excellent driver in the driveway. Okay, boys. I guess we made it to episode 22.
Your intro becomes 1 second longer for every episode we do. It's just so...
People love it. And people,
it's so laborious,
fans love
actually.
it.
You know, they don't. They think it's so stupid.
You have to understand persuasion. What I'm doing is I do the same intro and it warms people up
see,
to
we're
the
still
discussion.
talking about the intro. Okay, let's just...
See, everybody's obsessed about it. You proved my point. All right, guys. Are we going to address
Elephant in the room.
the elephant in the room, or do we just move on to topics?
I will say,
Elephant in the room.
after the last show, I fought very hard with the three of you to not post that episode.
You wanted to spike the episode.
I wanted to spike the episode, and I'll tell you why. I thought it was not good content. I don't think Vlad said anything new or remarkable or interesting. I don't think we had good analysis, and I think the whole thing kind of felt flat and felt like a PR stunt. And I felt that truly and honestly, and I made the case to you guys that we should cancel. Obviously, I lost, and I think going forward we should have a veto right. But we can talk about that offline.
Did you quit the show, or did you threaten to quit the show?
I threatened
And
to quit the show.
now?
I'm gonna after this. I'm gonna propose to you my rules, my ground rules for going forward. One of which I think should be no more PR bullshit from Jason's portfolio. But besides that, I think I might be able to.
I think I hear a bestie guestie. Is that com.com at the door?
And I don't think that we're
Have you guys
journalists. And
meditated yet
by the way,
today?
I don't think that the journalism thing works for us. I think we're like analysts and commentators, and we have opinions. And so to bring someone on and try and interview them with a 4-on-1 format, it just feels weird. It doesn't seem to work. It doesn't create an opportunity for discourse. And frankly, when you try and do journalism in this context, you either appear like you're softballing or you appear like you're doing gotcha journalism. And I think both are bad. And so I think it works really well when the four of us just kind of chat and analyze and shoot the shit and have opinions and talk and debate. And so my vote is to kind of avoid doing bestie guesties unless it's something pretty amazing and critical, and we can all kind of build a dialogue with that person around a topic. But so that's kind of where I'm sitting and how I feel about it. But we've had a lot of debates, obviously, since the last episode about it.
Can I build on what you're saying? This is like kind of like that really famous Teddy Roosevelt quote about sort of like the man in the arena with the dust on his face, right? I feel like all four of us are in the grind doing things. And I think what makes the podcast good is it's almost like there's like, in a basketball game of 4 quarters, there's a timeout and you come off the floor and you can actually just take a second to observe what you're seeing. And then the ref blows the whistle and you go back into the game. And I think for me, what makes this thing so fun is I feel like every Friday for these 2 hours, it's basically the ref calls a timeout or the coach calls a timeout, and we can just kind of take a breath and just observe, all right, what's happened? Before we get back in the arena. And so, just to your point, I don't think we're journalists, and I don't think we should try to be, because I don't think that's the point of what this is. It should be 4 friends talking about things that are important, and then to the extent that it's important and interesting for other people, they'll listen or not listen. And I think these last few weeks, we got caught up a little too much in, ratings, where is it ranking, how can we go higher? And it's that the gamification of people's reactions that I think caused us, to do that. Whereas the episode before, I actually kind of liked, because Draymond is legitimately one of our really good friends.
He's a bestie.
We see him many, many times, obviously less during basketball season, but a ton when he's outside. We play poker together. We all hang out together. So it's that, to me, I think is sort of in bounds. Last week, and then also, last week I think we were all supposed to be on point. I'll just tell you personally, for me, I had an extremely crushing 2 weeks of work. I was extremely tired. I ended up literally unplugging and not doing anything for 3 days straight and sleeping. And so I didn't even do my best, even just to be either supportive or, argumentative with Vlad. So I don't think I got anything out of it myself.
Okay, coming around the horn, Sacks, how do you feel that episode stands on its own? Obviously, it's very polarizing. We got barbecued in the comments. We got barbecued on Reddit. We got barbecued on social media. But then there were a large number of people who said they really liked it. My mom, Robinhood,
David's
Robinhood PR, my portfolio
Robinhood
manager.
PR. Right.
I mean, there were people who liked it.
Sequoia thought it was excellent. Right.
There's 12 people in the lunch. Sacks, give us your candid assessment, because you weren't as hard as these other two on it.
Yeah, I wasn't as hard as these other two, and I do feel like that if they felt that we were soft on Vlad, then they should have brought it harder, and they should have gone after Vlad and challenged him more. That being said, I completely understand and agree with what Friedberg is saying, that, look, we're not journalists. We're not playing a game of gotcha. It's not our job to go after Vlad. I think a lot of the comments on Twitter, that's what they wanted us to do, but that's not who we are,
Well, it's difficult for business too, Sacks. I mean, if you're attacking Vlad and then the next day we have to go into supporting founder mode, it's kind of a bad look, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not what we do, right? I mean, we are, like Chamath was saying, we are in the arena. We're doing things. We're not critics sitting on the sidelines pointing out, what the doers of deeds did wrong, and so it's not our job to, run an inquisition on Vlad, and so we're not really equipped to do that. I think Friedberg is right that it doesn't really make sense to have guests on the show if the job is to, to get to the bottom of something as investigators. We're not investigators.
And it was, a big story. Just to sort of put a cap in it from my perspective, I'm always supportive of my guys. I try to be supportive of whoever I invest in, and I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. And this is a situation where, people are upset. There were mistakes that were made. And so I think anything other than demolishing Vlad is considered by some constituency as a failure, right? And so what are we supposed to do here? I can't be trashing my own company that I'm an investor in and a supporter of, and founders who I believe in. That wouldn't be authentic
there was a moment. There was a moment in the pod, Jason, where I think actually, so on the whole, I thought Vlad did a good job in accomplishing his objective on our pod, which was the same objective he had in front of Congress, which was basically to run out the clock without saying very much, and, he actually, whoever prepped him for Congress did a pretty good job, because he testified for 5 hours and said nothing quotable, which is pretty much
kind
the
of
best
the goal,
you can do
right?
in that situation. It's kind of the goal for
Keep
him.
your head down.
Yeah, exactly. So, but there was a moment in the pod last week where I think Vlad got himself in a little bit of trouble. Friedberg did ask actually a pretty tough question about the guy in the street who had lost all of his life savings. How would Vlad respond to that? He made this claim, well, I saved that person money because I shut down trading at the high. And then we pointed out, no, I mean, it was the high because you shut down trading. You have the causation backwards. And then you ran in and said, whoa.
Well, my guy was on the floor. I got to pick him up. What are you talking about? I called a timeout. I got in there. But let's...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Do we talk about the insanely high-profile guest that was planned for March 5th that just canceled on us?
No. We should talk about that.
Do we put it on the table? Because this the other thing about protocol, I'll just say, Friedberg, is if we have a guest on, you cannot just spike the guest if they took the time to be on. That was my
unless you tell them before they come on, I may
that
spike
we might
you
spike it if it doesn't go their way.
If we don't like it.
Yeah, I think.
Do they get that right?
None of us do this for a profession. None of us are getting paid to podcast. Right, we don't have any advertisers. Like,
I completely agree.
We're not here to be a PR machine for people. I mean, Vlad had his friggin' PR woman sitting on the Zoom call while we were doing it last week. I just don't think
that's a little inside baseball that got interesting. I think. Explain what happened when.
Well, no, we don't need to go there, Jason. I just think what Friedberg says is right. Like we do this. We don't make any money from it. We do it because we like to talk. I think we all learn from it. I think other folks enjoy it. They learn from it. But I do think that Friedberg's right. We're not going to be used as a shill. I think we're learning as this goes. I think we're learning what the ground rules should be, just like any other business. Vlad's made mistakes. He's going to change. We've made some mistakes and we're iterating. And I think one positive iteration that Friedberg has proposed is if any one of us don't like an episode because we think it's basically moving away from our values, we should be able to spike it. And I support that.
I support it generally, but I don't like the idea of inviting a guest on and then it doesn't go well. And then telling, from our perspective, it makes us look bad. And then we tell the guest, well, you came out good and we came out down, therefore we're killing your appearance.
No. I don't think that's the point. I think what Friedberg says is like, look, this is not to be a marketing thing. And so we're going to ask things that are exposed, that are about having a real conversation where there's real honesty. And if you're going to just be there and bat around, as Sacks said, to run the clock out, then we're just going to spike it.
Fair enough. I think if that's communicated ahead, I'm okay.